My job quit me 6 months ago, and I decided to work for myself. And today I'm going into work for somebody else. Let's get into it. So this is my 6-month update of being a full-time travelpreneur. Can't believe it. I'm so excited. So a lot of people have aspirations of quitting their jobs for better opportunities. That was not my story. My job quit me. And I'm not ashamed to tell y'all, because my job quitting me has been one of the best learning experiences that I've had to date. A little over 6 months ago, I was working as a teacher abroad. I was able to kind of spread my talents all over the world. I would teach in the States as well as teach in Abu Dhabi, UAE, and I was able to start my travel business a year before that. 2023. When I started my travel business in 2023, y'all, it started off booming. Like, people know me as a travel girly. I've traveled to over 54 countries at this point. People have seen my adventures. They've seen things that I put together for groups and for other people. So whenever I said that I was making this an official business, I think people were like, okay, you're that girl, so I'm gonna book with you, or I wanna learn how to start a travel business too, so I'm gonna join with you. And it just started jumping from the start. Like, within 8 months of being in a travel business, I sold over $100,000 in travel, which was not something I was anticipating, but God be looking out for me. What can I say? So after several months of being in my travel business, I really started thinking like, yo, this could be a full-time thing. There are people who are in my company, within my travel business, because I have a host company, that are making like 6 figures a month.
Wow.
All right, 6 figures a month. There are some people who have transitioned out of their full-time jobs just to be travel agents or travel reps in marketing. And like I said, they're making 6 figures a month. Like, what? I was a teacher trying to make 6 figures a year. What are we talking about? And that intrigued me. But what also intrigued me was the fact that people were also making 6 figures in the business as well as having full-time jobs. Where they do that at? So I was on the fence about both of them, because I'm like, I could continue to keep this full-time gig that I have going, or I could try to go full-time. And the way my business was booming, I had group trips that were coming up that were sold out. I had, like I said, my clients were booking me for trips all of the time. Everything was just going so good. So I was like, I'm gonna set this up so that I can, I wanna be strategic about the things. I wanna make sure that I have a plan. And, they say when you try to make plans, God be giggling, he be laughing. He be like, plan what? Plan who? I am the plan. I am the man. And he always got the master plan. I believe that. In about May of last year, I was working at my school, minding my business, doing my thing. I was like literally in a great position. I had no intentions of stopping teaching at that point. And my school had come down with some new requirements that they needed for documentation for international teachers. Now, again, I've been teaching for 9 years back and forth abroad and in the States. I've held dual positions. Now, never in the 9 years had this particular certification question come up. So when they required me to get this specific documentation, I said, okay, it's been 9 years, y'all haven't required it, but let me go ahead and do it. Because it required the US to verify my documentation, my undergraduate degree, it would be like 6 to 12 weeks. Now, this is standard. Like, being an international teacher, we just kind of know these things. You have to send the documents to the states. The states have to send it to the State Department. The Secretary of State has to go to DC. You have to get all of these different signatures to make sure that it's legit. So I knew the time process. So they asked me to get it done. I sent it off right away. They sent me on Wednesday a message asking me if I had my documentation. It had only been like a month. So I was like, no, it's not in yet, but here's the receipt, they're getting it done. The Thursday came up and they're like, hey, we need you to have your documentation by end of day Friday, as in tomorrow, or we're not gonna be able to renew your contract. I'm sorry, what? I got this email when I was in the car. I had pulled up at home and I was checking my emails, and I'm sitting in the car reading this, and I'm just like, normally I would have been crying. I would have stressed out. I would have called my husband. He would have had to carry me out of the car because I would have been stressing. I am a girly that loves a plan. I like to plan things out. I like to know what's coming next. And I told y'all, God be laughing at me because I just be trying to put things in order and he be having other things in mind for me sometimes. I kind of felt a wave of relief come over me because I've been talking about going full time. I've been toying with the idea. And to be honest, I don't think that I would have gone full time on my own because let's be honest, a steady check is a good check. Well, not always, but in my situation, I knew every end of the month, about the 27th to 28th, depending on what day it fell on, I was getting my check. I knew exactly how much it was because it was an international teaching abroad check. It was tax-free. I knew what I had coming to me, and I loved that for me. And it was scary moving into the unknown. But getting that email, I was just like, you know what? Bet. God, I see you. From there, I finished out my school year. The school year officially ended in August. That's when I got my last check from teaching, and I was officially full time. So here we are today, 6 months later, and I still feel great about my decision. So in the past 6 months, I've realized that owning your business can be amazing, and it has been for me. But I've also learned some very good lessons. And I've also learned some lessons that will make me change how I do things, whether it be as an entrepreneur, in my life, in my marriage, as a friend, a family member, financially, everything. It's been such a learning experience in just 6 months. So I think it's important to talk about like how I was making money and what that setup looked like for me. So fortunately, the job that I was working, you get like a severance package, like gratuity? Severance. End of service. You get a thank you for your service to the company for being loyal to them. And I also had savings. Luckily, my man, he had my back, so I didn't necessarily have to go into savings or anything like that, which was nice. But we had it as like a backup and things. As I had said before, when I started my business, booking travel was really going well for me. In October, I hosted my first huge group trip. They traveled to Dubai, and it was over 40 people that I hosted. So proud of myself. Round of applause. So I had this group of people that came out, and that was my first month making twice my monthly salary. Like I made more than my monthly salary in the month of October. And that was just 2 months after going full time as a travelpreneur. So that made me very happy. When I made the decision to go full time, I had, because y'all know I like a plan, I had kind of, not even a timeline, but I had some specific markers that I wanted to hit during my time being full time. I've always said that me leaving out of the classroom may or may not be something permanent. I may go back because I'm an educator at heart, and you know, I didn't necessarily want to leave the classroom, but just because of circumstances, it was an available time for me to explore work outside of it. Here were a couple of my goals. I wanted to make my monthly salary. I wanted to consistently make my monthly salary. I wanted to be able to hire a team because full-time entrepreneurship ain't no hoe, okay? It sounds fun and dandy to be your own boss, to be able to make your own schedule, to be able to have location, time freedom, all of these things, but there are so many things that people don't tell you. And I'm gonna have to make a separate video for that because, wow. Another goal that I had was that I wanted to build up my travel team of people who I was helping start their own travel business. I don't gatekeep. People say that, but they don't be real. I don't gatekeep. So I was really excited about that as well. So like I said, working for yourself has some great highs. Now let's talk about what they don't tell you about being your own boss. One of the challenges that I had that I never even anticipated was loneliness. You hear how quiet it is? That's because nobody's here. It's just me. I started realizing maybe 2 months ago that I needed some human interaction. Like in the middle of the day when you come to a pause in your task and you've gotten things done, or on a day that you don't have as many tasks to do, you would think like just lazing around and being cool would be fun, which it can be, don't get me wrong, okay? I enjoy my time. I enjoy my freedom. But I realized that just seeing people in a day, like talking to people, venting about work, and who am I venting about work to? Because I'm my boss. What am I say? So that was very difficult. And it's crazy that we talk about loneliness and I'm able to even connect these dots, because today I actually picked up a position, substitute teaching. And it was just a one-day gig, you know, I'm just checking it out because like I said, it's been kind of lonely around, and why not get your extra bag when you can? And I just kind of wanted to see what it would feel like getting back into the swing of teaching. It's been 6 months. I've been teaching for over 10 years. So it's a habit for me. So I went in and subbed today, and just seeing the kids, well, before that, walking up to the school, saying hello to the staff, and, you know, just seeing people, talking to the other teachers, the banter. It was just not getting dressed. All right, I've said before that one of the ways that you could be successful as an entrepreneur is just getting up and putting on clothes. So I make sure that I put on my work shirts every day, or I get dressed up, especially if I'm doing content. But it's just not the same as getting dressed up, working in the house, than getting dressed up and going outside. So that human interaction was definitely a low for me, like missing out on it. And I didn't even think about that when I first started. As I said, one of my goals was to build up a team, like an assistant and maybe a content creator and different people that can help me run my business, because it's a lot on one person. But I'm not there yet. So working as a solopreneur, I am everything. I do everything. I'm doing bookkeeping, I'm doing admin, I'm doing payroll, I'm doing content creation, email marketing, I'm launching promos for my business, I'm still talking with clients, helping clients as they travel to different places. I'm doing it all, and it's a lot. So you think about, I just named like 8 positions that I'm doing. How much free time would one person doing 8 positions actually have? I have some, and I make sure that I schedule my free time, because I'm not about to work for myself and be upset because I can't get time off. No, it's a way that you can do it, but your schedule is pretty packed. I don't think that people anticipate that. So another thing that I've realized in these 6 months that I did not anticipate is that I have not working guilt or working from home guilt for myself. So when my husband gets up in the morning, whether I'm getting up with him or I've worked late, so I'm having a day, I'm sleeping in a little bit later than he is, I feel guilty when he goes off to work. Like, yes, I'm working for myself. Yes, I'm actually doing things while he's gone, but it's just a feeling that I have seeing him go off to work that is just a guilty feeling. And I don't know why. I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that, but that's been something that I've had to deal with. Another thing that I did not anticipate was the realization that I didn't have a blueprint. Like, nobody in my family's ever gone full-time into entrepreneurship like this. I didn't have anybody to say, this is how you should structure a day, or this is how you can do time management, or here are some ways that you can structure your business to make sure that you succeed. I didn't have that. So it's been a trial and error type situation where I'm learning, creating, moving on my own. And you know what, to be honest, tips would have been nice for people, but I think these types of journeys are your own, and the best teacher is experience. But like I said, it would have been nice. So now that I've hit 6 months, let's talk about what's next. So I'm not sure necessarily about full-time back in the classroom. It's an option, you know, maybe. We'll see what happens. I'll definitely make it to a full year of being a full-time entrepreneur, like in this capacity. But as far as going back into my old career, I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll see what it looks like over some time. But it was definitely nice to just jump in and have that substituting gig, where I can pick and choose where I want to do it. So maybe that might be my angle. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still building my team of massive successful travel agents, which I love. I'm getting new inquiries every day about people starting their own travel business, and that really makes me excited. That makes me happy for people because I've seen the success from this business that you can have, whether you're booking travel or if you are sharing how to start the travel business with other people. And again, no gatekeeping around here. So it's just it is gonna be an amazing ride. I'm looking to get my team up to 100 people by the time I reach a year as a full-time travelpreneur. That is a marker that I have for myself. So let's see if in 6 more months, y'all will be like, the goal was never to run my business and also run myself into the ground. Nobody wants that for themselves. I don't want that for me. I don't want that for you. Nobody should aspire to do that. Yes, you can run your business and still have a life. Yes, you can run your business and still find freedom and peace and all of the things. And that's what I am doing. I am finding a healthy balance of being successful as an entrepreneur and living a soft girl lifestyle. Like making sure that I'm taking care of me, making sure that I'm getting my exercise in, I'm keeping my health in check, making sure I'm still traveling, making sure I'm doing things that I love, spending time with my man, spending time with my family. If you're thinking about going full-time in your business, this might be your time. But take it from me, you need a plan. So I'm curious, what's your next big move?